I'm Miss Heather from the Tewksbury Public Library, and I'd like to welcome you to our last maker craft for the summer. Today we'll be making animal marionettes. A marionette is a type of puppet that's controlled by a string, and sometimes you'll see some wooden pieces, usually arranged like this, where the strings hang from and you can move the puppet using the strings and the controller. So we'll be learning all about that and how to make those types of puppets today. To do that, you'll need some craft sticks or popsicle sticks. That can be like your controller. If you don't have those, you could use chopsticks or skewers or something else like that. You'll need some colorful paper, some scissors, glue or tape, and you'll need a tube for the body and maybe also the head of your animal or creature that you make. And also some decorations. Maybe you have some cotton balls or pom-poms, a straw, a pipe cleaner, some googly eyes perhaps, some feathers. And of course the string part is very important. So some string or some yarn, whatever you have, gather whatever you can and meet me right back here. We'll get started making those marionettes. The first thing to do is decide which kind of animal or creature you'd like to make. You can make all sorts of things like dogs, unicorns, horses, birds, dragons, giraffes, whatever you can think of, you could probably create. Today I'm going to show you how to make the dog because that is a great jumping off point for making other kinds of animals. So to do that, you'll need a tube and some scissors, and we're gonna cut off maybe about a third of the tube. So not totally in half. You wanna have one part longer than the other. And then I'm just gonna smooth out my circle. So now I have one shorter tube and one taller tube. The shorter tube will be for my dog's head, and the longer tube will be for my dog's body. Next thing to do is decide how you want to decorate it. Maybe you want to paint it or cover it in paper. However you want to decorate your tube is a great thing to do. So get this all decorated to look like your dog, however you want, and then meet me right back here. So what I did so far is I made the dog's head. I put the ears at the back and then some eyeballs there. And I have covered it with paper as well to make my dog. And this will be for my dog's body. You can see I cut out some spots out of a lighter blue piece of paper and put that on as well. So now it's time to make some legs. So you'll need a hole punch if you have one of those. If you don't have a hole punch, a sharp pencil might work as well. And what you'll do is you'll poke some holes to make the legs. So I just put up my hole punch inside just a little bit there so I can make these legs. I'll put one on one side towards the front, and I'll put one on the other side as well. And then I'll do the same thing on the back. So our dog will have 4 legs. And of course you could also be making a horse or a unicorn, or maybe you want to even turn this into a cat instead. All right, so you can see I have my holes there. 4 holes ready to go. And so next up, we'll get out our yarn and make our feet. All right, so to make those legs, we'll use the yarn and our drinking straw. And we'll cut the yarn. So we'll have maybe about this much, maybe about 12 inches long there. And we'll cut our straw. Into 4 legs for our dog, or feet rather. And we'll string our yarn through one hole, then right into the next hole, so that you have some hanging down on either side. And then we'll thread on those straws. And if you don't have straws, beads work really well here as well. And thread that through. And then we're going to tie a couple knots. So we'll make a loop, push through the end, and pull. We'll have to make a few knots because the straw has a wide opening. And we want to make sure that I won't slip off the end of the yarn. So I'm just repeating that over and over a few times till I have a good knot there that will help to keep my straw on. And then I'll trim that little end as well. There we go. So the legs will look something kind of like that when they're hanging down. And I'll do that same thing right on the other side with the straw piece. Thread through and tie our knots. All right, so that will be what our dog's front legs will look like. We'll do the same thing for our dog's back legs. So now I'm going to attach the dog's tail. So I'll just poke a hole in the top towards the back. And I'll stick that straw right inside that last piece that I had. There we go, and I have my dog's tail and its legs. And so now it's time to make it into a marionette. So we'll poke some holes again on our dog. We'll poke another one a little further up for the string. And we'll put another one right maybe here in the front. Try to line it up with your other one. And we'll also poke a hole through both ends of the tube with our dog's head. Up and down just like that. You can go ahead and get out your craft sticks. And you'll just need 2 of them. And we'll put them in a cross shape. And you can glue or tape them into place. I'm actually going to use my pipe cleaner to secure mine. So I'm going to cut my pipe cleaner in half. I don't really need the whole thing. And get my controller made for my marionette. So I'm just going to wrap it around this way. Then I'm going to wrap it around this way to try to help it keep that cross shape. And the nice thing about the pipe cleaner is that you can slide the sticks a little bit if you feel like they're not quite even. So I've got that all wrapped around in my cross shape. And now it's time to get your yarn back out and to make some cuts of yarn that are about as long as your arm. So you'll need 2 of those. All right, so to create our marionette, we're actually going to poke 2 more holes right next to the ones that we made before, leaving just a tiny, tiny space right in between. And again, that tiny space right between. This will help us so we don't have to tie any more knots or too many more knots. So what we'll do is we'll weave through our arm length piece of yarn. We'll go down and then we'll push right back up through that hole that's right next to it. And now you can see the marionette coming to life a little bit and picture how it will be a little bit more. And we'll do that same thing, threading down and threading up and sliding to make it even. And so here is the makings of the marionette. So to make your dog's head stand up a little bit, we're going to thread a straw through those 2 pieces of yarn that we just threaded through the front holes. So our last piece of straw. All right, slide that right down. Then we'll take our dog's head and we'll go right up from the bottom with both pieces of yarn. And there you can see our marionette coming to life. So now we'll need to tie these long strings to the controller so that we can control and move our marionette. So I'm going to put one on the blue side and one on the other side of the blue of my controller that I have. I'm just going to tie right around. And pull around and pull. And then I'm going to tape that into place because I don't want that going anywhere while I'm doing a puppet show or just having some fun with my new toy. Just wrapped the tape right around where that was, just to help try to give it a little bit of extra security. And we'll tie it around on the other side. So today for our maker craft, we made animal marionettes. I hope you had as much fun making these as I did. Stay tuned for our website for future program announcements. We'll be doing lots more crafts and programs and things in September. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in today. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.